Welcome, all you custom slip joint enthusiasts from around the world. You're entering the polar bear den. All joking aside, if you guys have never watched Baxter's Blades, Andrew is a stand-up guy. He has a huge knife collection, and he's super enjoyable to watch. And just know that I had already told him I was going to do a parody of that. You know, I thought it was pretty funny, but his introduction always brings a smile to my face. And, you know, when I first saw it and I first heard him, I was like, what is he doing? And then I watched a few other ones and I was like, okay, this is growing on me. This is pretty cool. And I've told him, I said, it brings a smile to my face. And the fact that he does it is just fantastic. But I told him I was going to do the parody of the polar bear and do the growl instead of a meow. I'm sorry. Okay, maybe a harsh meow. And ask the question, who would win in a fight, a polar bear or a tiger? Put your answer in the comments. Well, you know, I wanted to do a little bit of a lighthearted video. I know that we've kind of been hitting the videos pretty hard and they've been kind of going all over the place. And I promise they make some kind of a point here and there. But I did tell you guys I was going to go over my birthday present with you guys. And this, let me get more information so I'm reading it properly from the box. So my wife ordered this for me, and it is a 51050L pattern. And it came with the box, so it's new old stock. And the paper is pretty fragile, so I didn't want to mess it up anymore. I took it out of the box. When it shipped, the velvet lining broke, and I put tape on the back to hold it together, but it has a certificate of authenticity. And basically what this is saying is that there's only one of 384 that were ever produced. And 198 have the bow tie shield, and 186 have the bomb shield. This has a bow tie shield, so it's more I guess frequent or common than the other one, but they're both very uncommon. And this was made I think in one of the eras that cases, people love collecting these. I love these type of knives, case tested, the classic series. And this thing is a beast. I had no idea this thing was going to be that big. And I have fairly decent sized hands. And that thing, just to give you guys a understanding of how big overall that is, that's 5.5 inches, just the handle. And when you take it and you open this thing, the overall length of this, ooh, sorry, Warrior Dude, is 10 inches. I mean, for a pocket knife, that's significantly larger than what most people carry. But the thing I love about this is just that look. It just has a crazy look to it, kind of a exaggerated look, a big belly on the clip point, just a straight pull, really nice thick swing, the guards, a lot thicker than what's on the cheetah. I don't know if the L, I know this isn't a cheetah, but it's a swing guard and it's a Coke bottle. But look at the stag on that thing. That's the show side, and usually you're like, okay, if the show side is good, then the pile side has to be even better. I think in this, they're equally the same, but man, the character in this knife the state of this knife, the condition, absolutely great find. My wife got it for $300, which is a huge chunk, but it is my birthday present, and she usually does buy me a very nice gift for my birthday, and this was no exception. And just to put it into context, usually with these, they sell for between $600 and $700. So I think it was a heck of a deal. It's not a once-in-a-lifetime purchase, but a once-in-a-year purchase, maybe twice if you count Christmas. Because if you recall, she also got me that Boker for Christmas. You know, I don't know, what more can I show on this? So you see the tank stamp. Kind of hard to see with that swing guard, but says case tested USA 19, and I cannot see for the life of me what year that is. I would guess it's a 90, or I'm sorry. Then it has a patent number with the SAB for saber grind. I wish the box said what year this was. And I don't know if there's a way. I'm sure I can look this up. I didn't look it up prior to me doing this video. But the snap on that is crazy. The lockup on it. The only thing I did to this when I got it was just kind of take a sunshine cloth and put some blade blubber on there. And the blade blubber really made that stag pop, gave it a lot more of a shine. And I know it protects it now. It was pretty dry before. But man, what an awesome, awesome birthday present. And I can't say it enough. I really appreciate that my wife supports me in this, and she buys me things that she knows makes me happy, and you know, that kind of are a little different than what I usually might have from my collection throughout the year or the trades. And she's good about asking me what I want, and she knows she knows I'm either going to say a gun or a knife. And I want to say I'm simple in that respect, but also it's pretty complicated, because once you find somebody who collects knives and guns, it's very difficult to A, get something that they don't have, or B, get them something that they really want. And you know, we've been married long enough to where she is good about asking what I want. And you know, she's also gets the same. I'll ask her what she wants, and we end up getting each other gifts in that manner. Sometimes Christmas or birthdays, we try to surprise each other sometimes, but you know, it's usually in addition to something that we both say that we do want. So we actually get something that both of us are really happy with. So with that over explanation of the gift, I thank you, babe. You know, it's a wonderful gift, and I couldn't be happier with anything that you would have got me otherwise. I do want to say, not that that wasn't enough, but she actually ended up ordering me another one, another case knife, and she saw how much I loved that Lockhorn that I made for Nate, and she asked me if I wanted one, and she ended up getting me a Lockhorn, and I have that coming. Hopefully it'll be here in less than a week or so. I'm probably going to end up doing the same thing I did to Nate's and putting some kind of mastodon on there. Mine that's coming in has paper micarta and not the yellow Delrin. We'll see how it grows on me. I'll see what I'm going to do with it. But I promised you guys I would show that a little bit. I kind of got poked a little bit by one of the subscribers about talking a little more on it. But with that being said, I mean, I want to show a couple other things I found on eBay for some fantastic prices. And I'm not naive. I know this stuff adds up, but I also know its value, and I know its potential value, what it's probably going to bring to me in the future if I can ever get to it. So this one, I got this for, I think, less than $20. This is an old Buck 110, and this is a 3-dot. And of course, you see it's been used a little bit. It has some marks on it, but those can be polished and cleaned out. You know, this is pretty banged up, but you can see the channels are a little different shape, but that's nothing that can't be fixed. This will take a little work getting to the point where I think it's acceptable, but I also know it's easily done if you have the time and patience. And for an example, my ivory Buck 110 that I did, as you can see, this also has about the same blade shape, and the condition of this one is very similar, or was very similar to this when I got it. And this was pretty banged up as well. But as you can see, this thing turned out fantastic. I just love those facets on there. And I haven't seen anybody challenge Casey Cawthon's claim to have the best hunter out there. No doubt about it, the shark tooth is a fantastic knife in every single regard. Ergonomically, I think it's superior to a Buck 110, but it's not a Buck 110. And I would argue that everybody right here is looking at one of the best hunters that has been shown on YouTube. And that is walrus ivory. It is absolutely, in my opinion, one of the nicer knives that I have done in ivory, and I couldn't bring myself to sell this one. And as an artist, you know, we constantly go over that thought of, oh, I should have kept that, I want to keep it. This one is staying with me. I don't see anything changing that in the future or anything, but that's definitely one of my favorite knives. I also got an old-timer 60T, and you know, this thing has very little use. I would say it's completely unused. Maybe used one time, something that scratch had along that, but I mean, this blade is relatively unused, and it looks like it has not been carried, so that will clean up very nice. Also got that, and I got this for, I think, 16 or 17 bucks. It was cheap. And I got this for, man, I think this was $18. And of course it's missing a shield. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. Maybe I'll pop in a shield. I mean, if somebody really loves Batman and they feel like they would want to trade for something, let me know. But my intention when I got this was just to use it as a blank slate, to make something with it, do some handles on it eventually, and, you know, sell it. It does have a pin crack, and that's pretty common, at least with these. And this is what is that, 2007? Let me see how good I am. I'm sorry, I gotta bring this up. I can't see this through the camera. Yep, so that is a 2007. And obviously that's Batman, but some of it's been scratched off. It's definitely in there. It's engraved there pretty deep. And the last thing I want to share is this, I mean, awesome shape sheath. I think this is one of the old USA made sheaths. And it's a finger groove Buck 110 in relatively unused shape, with the exception of almost the same kind of markings as what's on the 60T. But this, man, I want to say I got this for $32. And I've been looking for a finger groove. I didn't have any finger groove bucks. And I do collect Buck 110s. I don't have anything really extravagant or anything other than what I customized. So this was a definite score. But that kind of sums up. I wanted to share a little bit, you know, of things that I got as a gift from my wife, and things that I got, I feel pretty good buys on eBay. And, you know, unfortunately, you know, eBay is one of those things where you can get sucked into real quick and you can really go overboard. And sometimes, you know, I was watching Brother Brian with Bubba's EDC about his caution, and I absolutely wholeheartedly agree with him. If you're using, you know, credit cards, that's your choice, but I think his caution is warranted, where, you know, there's nothing worth having that can make you miserable with having to pay back debt later on. And that's why I strictly operate with 0 credit cards and I try to do trades when I'm making these purchases. But at the same time, I know it creates a strain at times, because it can get to the point where you're doing a little too much. And while I am aware that I got these all for a good price, when you add every single one of them up, I'm looking at close to $100 right here that I spent. So I would recommend also practicing some self-control. I know I jokingly talk about Casey and I, you know, feeding each other's habit through eBay, which does happen, but we also both exercise some restraint there. And, you know, that's about all I wanted to say, and I wanted to be able to share a little bit about that. I wanted to give a shout out to Baxter's Blades. So remember, now you're leaving the polar bear den. Take care, guys.